What's up guys, it's Raggster here from the Jesters, and tonight I will be doing a review on the free-to-play MMO Rift. This will be a leveling opinion review because I haven't reached level cap in this game yet. However, I feel there's use in doing a review on the leveling because of the fact that the leveling in this game does take quite long and it forms a big part of this game. Rift is a free-to-play MMO, however there is a paid option, but it will be nice to know that Rift is not a pay-to-win MMO, and the only reason to spend money in this game is to improve your own experience of the game. It won't give you more skill or make you better than a person that doesn't pay. As you can see, I already have 2 characters on this server, or shard as it's called in Rift, and because I'm a free-to-play player I can only have 2. Therefore, to show you the character creation, I'll just hop onto another server. They have PvE and PvP servers, much like WoW. Other than the fact that you can only have two characters, the only other big downside to being free to play is the fact that you cannot sell stuff in the auction house. You can buy stuff from the auction house, you just can't sell. However, if you buy something from the Rift store, which is an in-game store, you build up credits, and which unlock stuff along the way. And I think if you spend about $5 on the Rift store, you can unlock the abilities to sell stuff on the auction house. So if you really want to make money that way in the game, it's not really that expensive. Okay, so this is the character creation screen. There are 2 factions in Rift, much like WoW. With the Horde and the Alliance only, it's the Guardians and the Defiants, with the Guardians being the faction that works for the gods of Rift, with the Defiant choosing to defy the gods, hence the name Defiant, and to rather trust in the mechanical technology sort of stuff. I haven't played Defiant before, but yeah, the Guardians is quite fun to play, and I'm sure Defiant will also be just as fun. The races for the game: in the Guardians you have classic human, elves, high elves, and dwarves. The races are quite cool. There aren't really that much, only 3 per faction. I would prefer more races. However, that's only a cosmetic thing, so it's not really that major. The only other complaint I have for the Guardian races are that the humans and the high elves seem to look a lot like each other, and in game, with their armor on, it's really difficult to tell the difference between the 2, unless you look quite closely. Obviously each race has racial abilities, but like in most MMOs, that doesn't really make a big difference in game, so choosing your character is really purely for cosmetic reasons, choosing your race. Okay, the Defiant have, I would say, the cooler looking races. They have the Eth, which are basically, as far as I can tell, just evil humans or darker humans. They have the Kalari, which seems like a darker version of the High Elves, and the Balmy, which are big humans. Again, only 3 races, and just they sort of, except for skin color differences, they all seem to look quite generic. That's one downside, I would say. I would prefer if Rift had more different types of classes that looked, different types of races that looked more differently. Okay, as for the classes, Rift has actually a quite extensive class system. There's only 4 main classes, but in each class there's 8 to 9 souls, which is subclasses, and you can choose 1 to 3 of these souls and spend points in them and build your own spec. This makes the spec building in Rift not generic at all. There's a lot of different things you can do. If you go into the rogue, they give you free build options here, and they don't really give you an option to change them, it seems like. But if you go, let's just make the guy, and I'll show you the different classes of different souls you can do once you've actually created the character. Okay, that's already taken. Let's say the Jesters. Okay. Which makes the classes a bit different in Rift from other MMOs is that all the main classes, being warrior, rogue, mage and cleric, all of them can sort of fulfill all the roles, being tank, healing, DPS and support, with a few exceptions. However, in the third expansion for the game, which should launch sometime this year, they are going to bring out a few new souls which will unlock all roles for all the classes. However, to get access to the expansion souls, you have to buy those souls separately. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how much those will cost. Just to show you how the soul tree works, you basically have in your soul tree 3 different trees, and then these can be any of the following. You have a lot of different options. Like I said, the class system is quite extensive, so I would advise you to go and read up a lot on it if you decide to play Rift, because there's a lot of fun to be had with this system. Okay, I'll just log out with this guy and then log in on my main to show you a bit more of the gameplay aspect. Like I said, the leveling in Rift takes quite a while. There was a point where it got to me a bit, but if you just push through that first slum, and learn to enjoy the leveling and not just rush to endgame. Because when I started the game, it was a 100% rush to endgame, and that really got to me in the end. So, I give you advice, learn to enjoy the leveling, because it's a big part of this game. So yeah, this is the big bad guy in the game. His name is Raggster, as far as I know. There's a bit of the story. The Rift takes place in Delara, a world that is being attacked by 6 elemental planes. The elemental planes being death, life, water, earth, air, fire, and yes, I think that's it. So yeah, and there are big rifts opening up everywhere in the world, hence the name Rift, and I'll hopefully show you one of these rifts soon. Okay, here I spawned in the Guardian main city, which is quite a nice looking place. The visuals of the game is really good, and even on the PC I'm using, it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card. It's only got an Intel HD 4000, and the graphics does perform quite well on this card, which really impressed me. So for leveling, there are different options, and really quite extensive options. The first is obviously just to go to a level appropriate area and do quests, and the quest lines are quite interesting and they progress the story quite a bit. So if you're into the lore type of thing, I would advise you to do the questing, because the questing, there's really quite a big backstory to this game. Obviously you can do dungeons as well. There's a dungeon finder, much like in WoW and like other games are beginning to incorporate now. Honestly, I don't know how we ever got on without them, but this is the dungeon finder, and you can just choose your spec and queue. Like with most MMOs, if you're not in a tank spec, you're gonna wait 15 minutes to half an hour to get a dungeon. However, if you are in a tank spec, the dungeon is instant. I'm not gonna show you that now because the review isn't gonna be that long, and I don't want to leave a group hanging. The other option is PvP, but the experience from PvP is really quite bad. In Rift, there's only 4 battlefields, I think, and there's no rated battlegrounds or arena system. I would say that I would like to see a bit more PvP from this game, especially rated PvP. As you can see, okay, there's 5 different battlegrounds. Oh, there's more, okay, make that. Okay, I haven't been in the PvP, so, okay, for a while, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is not that bad, but like I said, there is no rated PvP system, so it's just running around killing other people for fun, doing capture the flag and stuff like that. It's really a lot of fun, but I would like to see them incorporating arena, which I quite enjoy a lot, and also a rated battleground system. Just to quickly show you how the PvP looks, we'll just join a random one. As I said, the experience from the PvP isn't that great, so if you want to do a bit of power leveling, I would advise you to rather do instant adventures, which I'll get to now, or just do questing or dungeons. Dungeons also give rather good experience, and dungeons in Rift are quite fun. We'll do a few videos on the dungeons. They seem to start to get a bit irritating after the 10th time you've done the same one, but if you want to power level doing dungeons, you just have to live with that. However, the first time you do each dungeon, they are quite fun, and I've started doing the Storm Legion dungeons now, which was the second expansion, which takes you from level 50 to 60, and I have to say those dungeons are quite fun, and they actually have a lot of tactics on the bosses, which is quite refreshing and a bit more of a challenge. Okay, so it's the first time I've been in this battleground. I don't really know what to do, what we can run in, and I'll do a bit of fighting and show you. I am in tanking spec now, so my DPS will be horrible, but I should be able to survive for a while. Here's some fighting going on. Let's charge in and do a bit of fighting. Okay, at least I have a stun and an interrupt, which comes in handy in PvP. Like I said, the PvP, even though there isn't a rated battleground system or arena, it's really quite fun because it is, like we all know, it's fun to kill other players for no other reason, just to show that you can do it and you are good at PvP. So yeah, if you're hardcore PvP, maybe you will find the lack of a rated system disappointing, but there's still a lot of fun to be had with PvP, especially now that I see that they have brought out more battlegrounds. However, I have to also say the game is still a growing game. They are bringing out expansions regularly, so hopefully there is a chance of a rated battleground system and arena, or just a rated PvP system in the near future. Okay, and I died. Okay, that's what I'll show you for the battlegrounds, or warfronts as they call it in Rift. Also, when you do warfronts, you get a separate type of currency which buys PvP gear, which is much the same as other MMOs. Like I said, the PvP not the best in the world, but it is still really enjoyable. And you can just, let's leave the warfront, and then I'll get to which was my main avenue of leveling, the instant adventures. Now, what instant adventures are, they basically teleport you to a zone on the map, join you up with a group of other players, and you just get random quests to do, and as you complete these, new ones pop up. So you don't have to speak to NPCs and get quests and giving quests. You just run around performing quests and getting XP and items from it. As you can hear from how it sounds, it is the fastest way to level, but trust me, it gets really tedious if you do it for too long. That was one of the main things that killed the game for me in the beginning. But when I pushed through and started doing a bit more of dungeoning and story quest lining, I got back into the game. So let's just join a random adventure. Okay, Silverwood. This is the first zone in the game, and seeing as I am level 52 actually, the area is way lower than my level. But this is a good example to show you my favorite part of Rift, the mentoring system. If you enter a dungeon or an instant adventure that is below your level, you get nerfed down to the correct level. Okay, you're still stronger than people that are really at that level because you have more gear and stats from the gear and so forth. But it actually enables you to play with friends that are a much lower level than you, and that's fantastic. Especially when me and my wife started playing together, I was already level 30, and the mentoring system enabled us to play along beautifully. You can set your own. Let me just leave this instant adventure. I'll join another one now. To set your mentoring level, you just go to right click on your portrait, set ascendant mentoring level, and you can go to any level you want, just to play with people that are your friends that are lower level than you, and then your character just sets its level. So let's get back into an instant adventure, and I'll show you a bit about what that's about. Okay, let's join. Okay, let's take away the mentoring. Maybe we can get into a higher level instant adventure, hopefully. Okay, it doesn't give me that option now, but that's not too bad. Let's just join. Okay, still in this one. Okay, so as soon as you get into the instant adventure, you get teleported to the correct zone and nerfed down to the correct level. You don't even have to do that manually. They set you to the correct level as soon as you get in. Then the top quest, or the quest with the 2 triangles, will be the instant adventure quest. So we have to kill Isle4 at Silver Coast. You can hit map. They have a great quest finder system, and the blue of the green circles, that's where the quest will be. So you've got a quest now. We got a quest to just to kill these Isle4 conquerors, and we have to kill 14. Well, because of the fact that I've been teleported into a group of other people also busy with the instant adventure, we are 4 at the moment. You'll see that the quests get done pretty quickly. So this is really a fast way of leveling, but like I said, it does get very tedious. As you can see, the graphics are quite stunning. The world is really, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to run around. It's got a very realistic feel to it, and combat is really nice. It's a tab target system. It's not action-based system, but I have to say I'm quite old school, so I love the tab target-based combat system. some people might disagree with me, but I think it's a lot of fun to play this way. So as you can see, we just have 2 more to kill. It really goes quite fast, and we're just gonna kill this person. Okay. It also, as far as the vastness of the game map, it's really a massive map, especially with the second expansion. They brought out 2 new worlds that are both quite almost the same size as the original, so it's really massive. And the third expansion sounds quite amazing. I've read up on it a bit. It's going to be on the plane of water, so it's going to be, you're going to have underwater zones and coral zones and stuff, so I think that's going to be quite epic, and hopefully it will launch later this year. Let's just go. I think I'm quickly going to show you a rift. Okay, so you'll see, okay, that's the main thing about the game. So yeah, on the map you'll see these are fire rifts that have opened. These little slivers are rifts that can be opened. Each player actually has the ability to open rifts, and then you obviously get rifts from each dimension or each plane. So you'll have fire rifts opening up, and earth rifts and air rifts, and basically as soon as you run into a rift or a rift area, you are given the rift quest, which basically entails killing 5 levels of creatures. As soon as you've killed all the creatures from a certain level of the rift, the next will spawn. And again, everybody, that's what's nice about the game. A lot of times when you run to a rift, you'll just find a lot of other people already at the rift, so you'll just team up with random players and kill the invaders and chase them away from your homeland. So that's quite enjoyable, the aspect of just running in and finding other players and working along with them. As for amount of players on my server, which is Starferia, I have to say it's really, I haven't ever run around feeling I'm alone on the server. So there is a lot of people running around. So you'll see this is the fire rift that's been opened now. They're already in level 4, so we just have to kill 5 of this. Okay, well, they've killed all the infernal imps now. Then you get the final level, let's see now, which usually is a bigger type of enemy. These are invaders. They spawn from rifts and run around on the map, and then you can kill them also for rewards. And this is the final boss of the rift. So let's just quickly, okay, they've aggroed the invaders now, so we'll kill them as well. And you'll see you get rewards for the rift and quite adequate amounts of XP as well. So let's just kill these invaders, and you see the rift has been sealed and the invaders have been defeated. Now that seemed quite quickly, but that's only because I ran into a rift that was already partially closed. If you start out from level 1, it's not going to take you more than 5 minutes, but it's a lot of fun to kill the rift and feel like you're saving your homeland. Then you'll get rewards from the rift. Okay, so that's basically that for our rift review. As far as the game, it's not the best game I've ever played, but for a free game, it's freaking amazing. I see no reason why you shouldn't try this game, even if it doesn't look that awesome to you. It is free to play, and the free to play system does work fantastically. So I would say give the game a go. You've got nothing to lose. The game is really, it's one of the better MMOs. For me, I would say it's the second best MMO I've played. Obviously the best, and this might sound like a cliche, but the best MMO I've ever played is, of course, WoW. I was a massive WoW fan. However, Rift really is so close to WoW, and even with the mentoring system, I think they do some stuff they do better than WoW. But what pushes it above and makes it much more worth to play, in my opinion, than WoW, is the fact that it's totally free. It's based, think of it as a free version of WoW, with a bit of graphics tweaked and so forth. And I'm just going to quickly show you, this is the Storm Legion or second expansion zones. I'll just quickly teleport to one of them just to show you how they look. They have a teleport system, which as soon as you've talked to the port column master at a certain settlement, you can directly teleport there from other port column masters, which is really convenient, the way to get around, because we all know running around on your horse really gets old after a while. Okay, this is Storm Legion. It's the second expansion, which I'm busy with now. It's really, it's much better than the first one, I would say. Not that the first one was bad, the first one was an awesome game, but yeah, they've just taken that and made it even better with this Storm Legion expansion. So, like I said, not the best game I've ever played, but definitely worth checking out because of the fact that it's free. And yeah, it really comes close to the best game I've ever played. Thanks for watching this review, guys, and hopefully you play Rift and enjoy it. Cheers.